Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to applique this cute dog pattern that you can get in the shop at shinyhappyworld.com. Here's how to make it. Okay, this is the video showing you how to put together the dog block if you are not using a light box. So I've got all of my pieces cut out and prepared. That means that they are cut out on the solid line around each piece, and I have transferred the dotted lines over to the fabric side of each piece. So you'll see I've got some eyebrows here too. Those are solid lines, not dotted lines. The dotted lines are all placement guides. The solid lines are stitching lines, so you'll want to transfer those as well if you decide to use them. Some people will just skip the eyebrows, and that is totally fine. One thing I wanted to point out is that there is a large section here that is going to be covered with his muzzle. And if you want to cut away the excess fabric, you can do that. Just cut it inside that dotted line. I left this as one whole piece to be cut out because I wanted you to be able to mix and match this with other dogs, especially from the Lovable Mutts pattern. Those all will work really well mixing and matching them together. So you could take this square head dog, and instead of applying the squarish muzzle that we're going to use here, you could apply one of the triangle or oval muzzles from the Lovable Mutts pattern, or honestly any of the template pieces from the Playful Puppies pattern or the More Playful Puppies pattern. So there are lots and lots of dog parts in there that you can easily mix and match between. And so I left this as an entire head so that you would be able to put a smaller muzzle on there if you wanted to. So here's how to put it together. We're actually going to start with the shoulder piece. I design almost all of my patterns what I call snapshot style. So I want it to look like you snapped a photo of this dog and you just zoomed in on the face. And he has a body, it's just cropped out of the photo. And to give that illusion, I line the straight edge at the bottom of this piece up with the raw edge at the bottom of the block. And that way, when I sew all the blocks together, that edge is going to be buried in the seam allowance, and so it'll give that illusion like it's just been cropped out. I kind of like the idea that my finished quilts that have all the little faces in there, I love how it looks a little bit like a school photo, like a yearbook photo spread or something, where you've got all of just the zoomed in face portraits in there. If you would rather do yours what I call emoji style, just float the head in the middle of the block and just leave the shoulder piece off. And that is just a different look, and I think it works really, really well that way too. I just prefer the snapshot style. All right, next up, we're going to put the head on. So this is the fusible adhesive that I use is called Heat and Bond, and I use the lightweight for all of my quilts. So I'm just going to overlap this head over the body until it covers up that chalk line that I transferred from the paper side of the pattern. There we go. So I was saying that this is Heat and Bond Light Fusible Adhesive. So it has meltable adhesive on the back of it, and you iron the pieces to your fabric and then cut the fabric away and then peel off the paper, and you're left with the adhesive stuck to the back there. But a lot of people ask what brand I use. It's Heat and Bond Light. So there's the muzzle. We're going to get a couple of ears in there. This is another one too, where if you wanted to, you could very easily swap in different ears from that Lovable Mutts pattern or the two different Playful Puppies patterns that I have. So there's all kinds of floppy ears and shaggy ears. You've got lots of different ear options if you wanted to play with that. So now I've got two eyes. Here's one. And one more. The eyes are identical, so it doesn't matter which one goes where. And then the last thing is he's got a nice big nose. And again, you could swap in different noses from different patterns. If you use a nose with a triangle point at the bottom, and you have a line for the mouth that drops down like this, one thing you want to do is make really careful that you line up that point exactly with that line, and that is just going to make it look really perfect. So otherwise you can kind of play around a little bit with the placement of the nose, but if you've got that drop down line, you really want to line those two pieces up. All right, so everything is positioned where I want it to be. I'm going to take this over to my ironing board, fuse everything in place, and then I'll do all of the outline stitching, and I'll bring it back and I'll show you the finished block, and I'll also show you 2 other versions I made in different colors. All right, here's the finished dog. I did all of the outline stitching, including the eyebrows. I also added a couple of catch lights to his eyes. I just use a single dot of a shiny white fabric paint, and the pattern has a link to a post showing you several different ways you can add catch lights, and it includes links to the fabric paint that I like to use. So this one is a fun blue dog, but I've got a couple other color combinations that I did. Here's a more realistic brown dog. These are all grizzly blenders from my Animal Kingdom color palette. Those are all colors that are kind of realistic animal colors. I'm going to have one more super fun version. So this one uses topaz blenders from my gemstones collection, and the background is one of my red blenders. This is for a lunar zodiac bundle sample that I'm making, where all of the animals are made in bright gemstone colors and they're all on a bright red background. So that is how you make this cute dog applique pattern. Again, you can get the pattern at shinyhappyworld.com. There's a link in the description below. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I will see you next time.